During Joe Blackburn's clarification on the state of play, there was a major thing. I think a lot of people kind of glossed over, man. I don't see too many people talking about this on Twitter. But before that, let's kind of roll through some of the points of the video, and at the end, we'll discuss it. Let's ride.
Hey everybody, it's Joe, and I'm just here to check in on how Destiny's going. So a few weeks ago, we put about state of the game communication that wasn't up to our standards for what y'all have come to expect for those kinds of communications. It didn't provide the high-level vision that we normally provide, and really and truly, a bunch of us were heads down working the final shape and weren't able to give it the sort of care and love that we normally put into these kind of communications. And that's
So at the beginning of the video, he's talking about kind of like, hey man, the state of play was not up to par. We're really busy with final shape. So this leads for me to believe that, final shape is going to be it. And I believe it, man, because they're banking on this. They want to keep users. They got to have final shape be on point. But then he goes on to say, like, it was actually like, we should be on top of this. This is unacceptable. And I just want to talk to you for a little bit to, you know, clear up a couple things, to talk about some changes. And this is where the goodness comes in, guys. This is where the goodness comes in.
focused on the light. It's focused on the enemies we've been setting up and the allies that you've come to know. It's not about a bunch of wacky new systems or wacky new themes coming into Destiny. Instead, we want to make an experience that's super easy for anyone who's ever played Destiny to come in and absolutely fall in love with the content that's before. Strange Coin refactor and Xur revamp that's coming out in the final shape. We're not going to talk about things like a refactor of HUD elements where we're making sure the buffs and the debuffs are more clear and you can tell what's happening in higher level combat. It's going to, again, really be focused on the story. Really
we got final shape. It's going to be real focused, easy to play, so no people are going to come in. Trust me, the promotional videos and stuff are going to be bonkers. It's going to be insane. Get ready for it. Strap up. Get your Destiny 2 badge on and let these people know what's up. What's up? I'm a real D2 player. Psych, don't be like that. Don't be gatekeepy. Their special coin is getting revamped, which is cool. So I guess they're keeping theirs. One thing is really important too that wasn't touched upon, like people ain't talking about, is that revamped HUD, bro. This leads me to believe that damage is gonna be so much more important, and like buffs and things like that. These things are gonna be really important. I don't know if any of y'all play other MMOs, but every MMO you could kind of customize your HUD, man. You can make as much of damage as big as possible, or whatever is important for that game. You could kind of increase the size and put placements at it and stuff. So if Destiny could streamline this, it's on console too. A lot of players are on console, so it's probably not going to be as customizable. But if they could just make it where it's very visible for everything, people know who has buff, what's going on. That's going to be
reveal. If I'm looking at the sheet next, we've got PvP. So let's start with the state of PvP right now in Destiny. What have we been doing? What have we been focused on? We've been really focused on sandbox balance. So like a big focus of effort last year was just making sure that Strand came out in a good place and got to live sort of in harmony with the rest of our Crucible ecosystem. Aside from that, we've been focusing on putting up 2 weapon balances per season, one at the start, one in mid-season. And we've been focusing on ritual updates to PvP, be this mode updates, point updates, reward updates at the beginning of each season. Finally, we flip over to our agenda. We've been focused on making 1 new map and a few reprises a year. Now, all that aside, I just fair to say this approach is not producing the Crucible that our players expect us. So what are we going to do? How are we going to change? First, let's talk about maps. It's clear that the sort of slow trickle of PvP maps isn't having the effect we want. And although it gets an injection of PvP maps every so often into the ecosystem, it's also forcing this like 1 new map a year. We're trying to build a map that has to do everything, which means it can't be good at anything. So next year, we're going to change our philosophy. Instead of a slow trickle of maps throughout the year, we're going to focus our effort into a single map pack that's free for everyone. So imagine new maps coming in 1 drop, where we can make a bunch of new experiences that can all be good at specific things and adds a big variety in a single drop next year. Now, this is a shift from our strategy.
Transparency is so important, and I said it in my last video, and I'll say it now. Transparency is the most important thing. Joe states that, hey man, seems like we're slacking on PvP because we wanted to make sure Strand was balanced. And to be perfectly honest, that is such a fair point. If they would have just came out and said that, I think a lot more people would have been forgiving of them. Look, we all remember when Stasis came out and it was busted. And it was so busted. Hunters were getting just all kinds of hate. So much. And it took almost about a year for it to finally feel like it was balanced with the other subclasses. So to avoid going through that, I guess they really wanted to focus in on making Strand balanced. And I feel like it's a pretty balanced subclass in PvP. It's also stated that, hey, Bungie knows that we're not happy with PvP. And guys, you know why? You know why it's like that? because the community is united on one front about a thing that's troublesome in the game. If we're not united, if we just complain about everything, nothing gets done. If we could focus in on things, man, a lot of things can be done, can be made better for the game. I really enjoy this. This feels like Bungie is going back to its old roots, man. I was wishing for this earlier. Like, man, I'm loving it.
So modes. First of all, I'm really excited about what's coming out in Season 22. First with Checkmate. Checkmate is a mode all about that sort of primary fire, basic weapon excellence of Bungie games, and being able to show that excellence in a PvP setting. It's what a bunch of our like really marksman-style PvP players have been asking for a long time since Destiny 1, and we're finally going to put a mode like that in the game. And I'm super excited for a bunch of those. Relic is a different kind of mode, and it sort of is a building off of these experiments that we've been doing with things like Fortress or Eruption, where it's about this quality Destiny sandbox experience of your guns and your powers that escalates when you succeed in sort of a crazy mayhem-like experience. And
There's a little bit more explanation on the new modes that are coming out, Checkmate and Relic, and it's pretty much I seem like Checkmate is kind of supposed to be like the comp pretty much style. I'm not sure if it's 6v6, but that'd be cool if there's a comp 6v6. And then Relic is supposed to be like that fun, big, like mayhem type deal. So that's really cool. I enjoy that. We need both, man. We need both. Keep it fun, but you know, being sweaty is fun for some people too, man. And sometimes I like to get sweaty, but there's some people who stay sweaty, and that's a little crazy to me. But still, this is definitely a win.
Bring more of our modes into the core playlist. We've been putting a lot out in labs. We've been putting a lot out in Iron Banner. And to be honest, there's a few obstacles to us putting these into our core playlist. Be this VO or small bug level issues that we feel like, I don't know if we're ready. I think that's been blocking us from doing the right thing here. So we're going to take on some of that bug weight. We're going to take on some, a little bit of the jank. And we're going to say, no. This isn't worth us not putting into the mode. And so we're going to take some of these modes that we've been putting in Crucible labs, that we've been putting in Iron Banner, and taking them and putting them into the core PvP experience that most of our players experience.
A couple of things I wasn't feeling was, hey, we need to put more game modes into the playlist. Yeah, that's fine, but what I would really like is just to have something that like most PvP shooters have, and that's like a menu system where I could choose what game modes I want to play and an intro lobby and be able to play like that. I think that's far superior than just, okay, I want to play a 6v6 and then I get a random game. Like, that's not too fun for some people. Like, there's a lot of times I don't mind playing other modes, but there's definite times where I just want to play like, Control, and I don't want to be interrupted by like Rift or something like that. So I wish they would change that. Maybe they will, but let's keep the ball rolling.
Armor visual categories in Destiny. So at the top, we've got what we call aspirational armor. This is stuff like raids, trials, dungeons. We want the armor that comes from these activities to be flashy, or to like really talk about the core of what that experience is. It's really important that when players earn these armors, they feel proud, they want to wear them, they want to show off in the tower. Next, we've got silver, right? This is armor that you can buy from the store for silver. It's important for us that this feels like it's sort of breaking the mold of what you could expect in a Destiny game. It's a place to experiment with stuff that's a little bit fourth wall breaky. And importantly, we want anyone that spends silver on armor to feel like, hey, it was worth it, right? Like I got my money's worth when I spent this armor. Finally, we've got rituals and blues. And this space is always sort of about that core Guardian fantasy. What does the Guardian look like that you would imagine sort of stereotypical everyday Guardian, or the Guardian that you see on the front line? Maybe tragically a Guardian that tried to go into the world of the Traveler and then gets cut up into a million pieces. This is that spot. All
right, let's talk about the armor. Joe goes through like what kind of the armors mean, and basically the reason why ritual armor doesn't get updated every season, and that is because it has a narrative purpose where ritual armor and the blues are kind of just like grunt armors, and there's aspirational armors where you're talking like raids and trials, things like that. But I don't know if people are still happy with this or not. I'm not exactly sure. I'm not too big stickler on armor. We got transmog. I think that's really cool. A big really reward, like a kind of pretty much a sorry, was, hey man, we had these silver armors, but we're gonna make them ritual. See, this is what we need, man. We just need to keep the voices in line, man. We get things done. So expect that next season. But I'm not too mad at it. A lot of transparency is all it's needed, and people will be a lot happier. Bungie was like really good at this, and hopefully they get back to the roots in being good at this. I was watching a video and like an exclamation point pointed over my head, and I was just wondering, like, this dude's not about to talk about GCX and the armor building showcase. Hey man, you can't win them all. I'm not too upset with the armors right now, but there are some people and they're looking to rectify that somewhat. I don't think this is what people want, but hey, I'm cool with it, man. I'm cool.
Delivering great content to y'all and making sure that's our top priority, that doesn't mean our communications have to suffer. And so the first thing, we want to be talking to y'all more. We're going to keep using our branded accounts. You'll see these on Twitter and you'll see these on Reddit, right? We want to be using those accounts with more personality, going and talking to y'all more. When season 22 rolls around again, I'm going to be in the game a lot. I'm going to be playing a lot. So what we want to do is commit to a few times next season and the season after. I'm just going to stream me playing the game. And you'll be able to come and talk to me. And
definitely the most important part of the video. All the other things could kind of be pushed aside a little bit, somewhat. But if we don't have this, if we don't have communication with Bungie, Destiny is doomed. That's what made the community so great, was the communication with the developers. Now it seems that communication is opening back up, which is an excellent good thing. Joe said he's going to start streaming. That's amazing, man. I'm telling you, no other communities had it like this, and whoever was doing that, I don't even talk about it, not lawsuit and all that good stuff. Just I hope that it doesn't come back to that again, ever again, and I hope that these communications will only widen, man. I truly appreciate it. I think that's what makes Bungie specifically unique to a lot of different developers in the gaming industry today. All right, y'all. This Sleek Shadow here. Follow me on the socials. Go ahead and watch the vid. It's on his Twitter, man. At Joe Blackburn, I believe. I'll be here in the showcase. You know what it is. Sleek Shadow. I hope your day was great. I hope your night is wonderful. And I'm out. Peace.